And this is a short story called, or it's 5 pages from a short story called Barbara Cartland's All-White 10th Anniversary Meal. Rini heard 2 women talking about it on the bus. They were reading a newspaper and laughing. The words 10th wedding anniversary caught her attention and gave her a moment's confidence to speak to them. This might be something she could do, a way to keep him happy and help Judith and the little one. Excuse me? Did I say that out loud, she wondered. It's okay, I can get off at the next stop. Don't matter if it's raining. Only 10 minutes walk to work, and it's not 5:22 yet. If they laugh at me, I'm straight off here. One woman smiled. Did you want something? She's pretty, Rini thought. Nice white teeth and not covered in orange tan. She twisted a strand of hair and risked a smile. I'm ever so sorry to bother you. I heard you say something about a special romantic meal for being married 10 years. It's awful. There had to be a stuck-up one, Rini thought. That one's hair needed a good trim. Rini pulled her bag onto her lap and reached for the bell to stop the bus. I knew I shouldn't have asked, she thought. Their store always looked down on you. Always with the being cryptic, Hannah. The nice one with the white teeth smiled at Rini again. She means that this article is awful. She tapped the paper with a scarlet-tipped nail. It's about documents, really important historical and cultural documents. They're in a library that looks as though it's going to be closed. The women's library, do you know it? Oh, yes, thank you. She pressed the bell with a shaking finger. Her nails hadn't ever been scarlet. They hadn't even been pink pearl for a long time, she thought. Here, the nice one held out the paper. You can take it. I can look at it online. Rini nodded thanks. She put the paper on top of the marigolds in her bag and zipped it shut against the rain. I'll read it after work, she thought. Probably won't make head and tail of it, though. Shh. Bet placed a finger on her granddaughter's lips, soft and red and perfect they were. I can't tell you what's in the special dinner. It's a surprise for Mum and Dad. The child scowled. I can keep a secret. I'm 10, not a baby, and I want to help. Rini considered this. Spend more time with her Chloe, doing cooking and teaching her about proper food. That'd be nice. She studied the child's serious face. All right. Rini wanted the girl to think that she was being gracious, that it was extra work for her to have to think about a grandchild whilst shopping and making her preparations. You can come to the shops with me and help do some cooking, and with the dishing up perhaps, but don't tell no one or you'll spoil the surprise. Chloe nodded, her face flushing. She took Rini's hand and squeezed. I love you, Grandma. Now tell me about the food. Rini kissed the little hand, like a dolly's fingers. It's going to be lovely. There was a lady, she wrote books about love, and she always wore pink. Chloe raised her eyebrows. Daddy says pink stinks. Girls shouldn't have everything pink just because they're girls. Well, your dad don't know everything, even though he thinks he does, Rini thought. Anyway, don't butt in. This lady was clever because she wrote hundreds of books. Chloe's eyebrows relaxed. Rini had saved her best line until last. And she was the grandma of a princess, a real one, here in England. Grandma seemed the easiest way to describe a relationship that Rini couldn't quite remember. So is the food going to be all pink and princessy? I don't think they're going to be very impressed with that. Chloe sucked her thumb and looked worried. Miss Know-it-all, aren't you? And take that thumb out. Bet lowered her voice. It's going to be white, the dinner. All white. Isn't that lovely? But we don't eat white bread. It's rubbish and full of chemicals. The thumb went back into Chloe's mouth. The rubbish they filled that kid's head with. You could tell they'd never lived through rationing or gone hungry. Rini sighed and tightened her grip on the child's hand. Poor Chloe. She could do with a bit more common sense. No, not white bread. There's going to be sole with confetti and ice cream and a sauce made out of white grapes. Well, that made an impression. The girl's eyes widened. Then she put her head on one side and frowned. Was that your own idea, Grandma? Rini drew in her breath, went to the sideboard and pulled open a drawer. Here, this is the paper Mum and Dad read, isn't it? Look. She pointed to a blue circle of biro. Chloe read aloud. Romantic novelist Barbara Cartland's Recipes for Lovers. She advises an elaborate all-white menu for a 10th wedding anniversary meal. She read on silently and then looked up, so like her mother when she smiles. When did Judith stop wanting to help with cooking and start spending all her time with a nose in a book? No wonder they eat out in restaurants so much. Chloe, you mind my cardie. Don't pull it out of shape. And go and wash them hands. They're black as Newgate's knocker. Chloe was tugging at her sleeve. It's all about women and books. Mummy will love it. Can I tell her when she collects me after college?
Thank you. Thank you very much.